Hello. Well, I feel very excited to be here today. It's Bank Holiday Monday in England and it's Memorial Day in America. But I'm here and I'm so excited because my teacher, Beth Davis, is coming to the call. So I'm expecting her to join anytime soon. I feel really privileged and yeah, and I feel courageous because I invited her. Um, I don't know if I should say too much more, but she's somebody that I admire and has helped me. Oh, look, here she is. Hello. Hi, Beth.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
It's such a privilege to have you here today.
Oh, thank you. I feel very privileged to be here today.
Yeah, so wow, I was just saying that you're my teacher. You've brought me human design. I was aware of human design before I joined Aligned to Your Design, and my friend Claudia sent me over. And first of all, I was like, I don't want to do business human design. I just want to learn about it. And then I was kind of drawn. I love listening to things, so I was drawn to your weekly lives, and especially if, for example, you were talking about my type, which is a manifesting generator. And so I was able to go to your group, Aligned to Your Design, and put in the search manifesting generator and listen to talks about people like me. And the thing that really excited me first was you were talking to somebody about their business, and you'd put something in a clause in their contracts, which was about if you weren't feeling it on the day that they could cancel it. I don't know if you maybe
I
that's
do remember. Yes.
it's an emotional person, perhaps. um,
Mm-hmm.
and so that I thought was wow. Imagine that. Imagine tailor making your own business to how your
Mm-hmm.
natural way is. Hi, Dandy. Dandy's on board. Um, and so that was the first thing. And then you do these things called labs where you train. You offer free training for a whole week or a few days of a week, practically a whole week, and I took the training. In fact, I could even show you, but I've got on my wall just over here a whiteboardy thing with all
Oh,
notes.
look at that.
Yeah. And so I joined the free training, and oh my God, I just got so excited. And as I've been learning about human design, my body said, I really want this. And I did it. I found a way, like, even in a pandemic when I'd lost my main income, that's like 95% of my income. I felt it was right to do this because I got such a strong, I've got to do this in my body. And I just thought, I'm going to take the chance and I'm going to expand myself and my business with you. And it's been amazing. I mean, this group here that we're in exists because of your inspiration. And so yeah, it's just for all the listeners who will people come and listen afterwards on the replays. It's a bank holiday for us and you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a it's a memorial for the soldiers who died in action or were injured or were prisoners of war. Yeah.
oh, okay. So yeah, and it's just really exciting because you've really got me to express my true voice. So coming into this space and being consistent, showing up regularly, showing up with all of wherever I am in an intimate space that I've created, um, and also coming out in the world. So I'm regularly going live on my personal page, and I'm just really revealing myself in the world, which you've encouraged me with your
Mm-hmm.
loving butt kick.
You're welcome.
And I also love the fact that you speak your truth, and you have a free, true voice, and you encourage me because you don't seem to um, censor yourself. You feel true with yourself and express yourself. So I just love you to share with our audience about how you inspired me to free my voice, how you freed your own voice, anything like that.
Okay. All right. Well, through the voice, through the throat is how we manifest. And if we're not able to speak from, or at least speak as freely as we can from our authentic self, other people can't really hear us, and they can't really uh, bring the connection that would be there in that relationship. Is that making sense?
Kind of.
Ask me again. Ask me again. I'll say it a different way.
Okay. Um, so you were saying through the voice we manifest.
Right. So through the voice, we manifest. So if your voice is conditioned, and most of us have to shed conditioning. So the conditioning comes from schooling and things we've heard from our parents and extended family. So all that conditioning comes in, and it can create kind of an unconscious prison.
Okay.
And so, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was just okaying, agreeing with you. So the unconscious prison that we have,
That's
and
right. That's right. So when people hear that conditioned voice, they don't really respond to it in the way they would respond to a voice of someone who is speaking their truth, who has an idea of who they are, knows what they stand for. And so I can't stress enough people having money problems and prosperity issues often aren't using their voice to speak their truth and communicate their point of view. And if that isn't happening, the manifestation isn't happening.
so basically our authenticity is in direct alignment with our abundance and what we manifest in our lives.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And if I seem a little fuzzy today, I just did a whole week long class and my brain is a little shot. So if I suddenly lose my train of thought, you can just redirect me.
That's fine. And thank you so much for being here. So these 1 week free classes, these that you call labs, are amazing. And there's so much resource available
Oh,
for us all to understand. And I also, Beth is also a hand an analyzer. She does
hand analyst.
hand analyst. There we go. And the combination of learning my human design and my hand, what's written in my hands, tells me that it's my job to share my message with the world, which is
Mhm.
great because that's what I wanted to do anyway. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background in both of those two things? How did you come to human design and hand analysis?
Well, in my 20s, I was working a day job, an office job in the marketing department of one, which was me. I was the marketing department. And I was going home from work and feeling very down. So a friend of mine kept encouraging me to get my palms read, and I kept telling her to bug off. But finally, I wanted her to stop bugging me. So I said, okay, I'll get my palms read. And it was one of the most life changing experiences I ever had. This young woman, at the time she was young, we were both much younger. This is probably late 90s. A woman named Terry Lynn Snyder came to my door, read my hands, and basically proceeded to tell me that I wasn't living my life correctly, that I wasn't living my purpose. And I was so deeply moved because I'd been on a mission probably for the past year, 2 years to figure out what my purpose was. So I learned from this reading that my purpose on this planet is to inspire others to live their purpose, to help people recognize the patterns, both positive and negative, that affect their day to day life and make better choices. so that there's less resistance, so there's more fulfillment. And it was really the best thing I'd ever heard. So I decided to learn how to read hands. And within a couple years, I started teaching people how to read hands and also coaching people around what was in their hands. And then about 6, 7 years ago, I was introduced to human design, and bringing the two tools together has been remarkable in terms of helping people really see what their destiny is about.
Awesome. And so you are quite an outspoken person. You speak your mind,
I do.
and even at the risk, I feel you so much coming from a place of love and care, and yet you dare to say things that could trigger people, which
Yeah.
includes me. And so I'm wondering, how did you get to that point?
That where I could handle triggering people.
Yeah, where you could just say it, and what's the process you've come to for that?
Well, I was very sick with cancer. And one thing most majority of people don't totally understand about cancer is that when cancer spreads, it's the same kind of cancer. It just spreads to different parts of the body. So if someone had brain cancer that spread, it would be brain cancer wherever it spread. And I had breast cancer, and it spread to my bones, my lymph, my liver, my lung. Yeah, it's not good. And I was very sick at a point where I really thought I wasn't going to make it. And through my own research, I got myself on a drug cocktail that is basically reversing the cancer, just going away. I no longer have it in my bones, it's gone, and it's left most of the lymph. So, going through that experience of facing my own mortality, I mean, what more do you have to lose than your life? So when I was given a second chance, I vowed that I would do this uh, with as much openness as possible. That I would, and also to be as kind as I can. I mean, that's the other thing. I think I'm less arrogant and entitled and um, self-conscious and neurotic. I was all those things when I was younger, and I feel that facing my own mortality and then being given another chance has given me a level of gratitude that is unmatched, as well as I don't really sweat things anymore. You know, they'll play out the way they play out. You know, I mean, unless something's actually life or death, why even worry about it? So,
That's an amazing perspective. I did one of my lives about if I died tomorrow.
right.
I have all the time. It's in it's with me. Like death and life
Yeah,
are always there. And so for me,
always.
I would like to know every week that I've done enough to die happily. And I
That's
like
right.
to gauge things in that way
That's
also.
right.
But I'm still scared sometimes to speak my truth, and I'm still,
Sure.
um, yeah, I haven't got to that point where I feel completely safe, but I'm getting coming out, and actually this group helps because I'm doing it with others and finding others to do it with, and that's the other thing. So I joined your program, Life Purpose Mastery, and we have a group, and in that group we meet various times in the week, and we all share quite vulnerably, and you give us some guidance. And it's wonderful to be part of a community, and I'm working on setting up my own community, and this group has been sort of like a um, an experience for me to. It's like a birthing. It's a womb for me to work out how I'm going to do that exactly. And also, you've encouraged me to be consistent, to be always there. And you always broadcast on a Tuesday at this time, right?
Around 3:30 Eastern. We changed it to 3:30, but most Tuesdays at 3:30 Eastern.
And that's in your group called Align to Your Design.
That's right. And yeah, if people go to yourpurpose.com/community, which is on the screen, that takes them to the Facebook group.
Excellent. Brilliant.
Yep.
Um, so I don't know if you remember how you got me to be more visible, or how you gave me my butt kicks to get me out there.
I don't.
You do it all the time,
It goes
right?
it goes in and it goes out. Like people never need to worry with me because it goes in, it goes out. It's in there, but you're gonna have to prompt me. Yeah.
Well, I just remember a conversation that we had, and I was talking about um, wanting to play big stadiums, and then
Oh
you
yeah,
were
yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah.
yeah, and you were talking about Bonnie Raitt for some reason, and saying, well, she does this and she does that and she does the other, and I felt like you were kind of comparing me to her, and it didn't really feel like me at all, and it triggered me a little bit, and it made me go in a little bit, and had to reassess everything that I was feeling. And but what you've taught me in human design is to listen to my body. And so if I now know that I can listen to my body, I don't actually have to use my brain to go, is this right? And does this feel, is this the right decision? I just need to listen to my body and go, this is what I feel,
Right.
right? This is what I feel like doing. And this is what moves me. But yeah, I went inside, I kind of lost it, and I had to reassess a little bit. And then I spoke my true voice with you after a little bit of a prompt, and we had a conversation, and I realized that what happened there was sort of like the trigger was what I needed for me to say, well, you just said you just need to be more visible, girl. And that was kind of what was underneath the thing that you were pushing was underneath. It needed to be pushed in a way for me to hear you say
Mm-hmm.
you need to be visible. And I
Right.
knew that. I knew that so much. It was like a deep longing to be visible, and a deep longing to share my gifts with the world and to reveal my real self, not just the performer or just the bits that I found okay. And so from that point onwards, I came out more, and it feels really good. Can you say anything about any of that?
Well, I remember that conversation now very clearly. And the reason I used Bonnie Raitt as an example wasn't a comparison of your music or how your look or your style. I was using her as an example of someone who made a decision to be visible and she went for it when people told her it wasn't going to work. Who are you? And she said, I'm going to be a best selling female country artist. Watch me. And she actually gave up drinking. That was something else that she just overcame adversity, which you've overcome so much in your life. And that's why I used her as an example. And so my prompt to you and to really anyone I work with is what do you want, and then what is your intention for what you want. And then what's your plan for what you want, what's the strategy you're going to employ. And the people who are the most successful in the world, that none of them, it's never by accident. Seinfeld, Marilyn Monroe, Oprah, Michael Jackson, none of them were accidentally famous, not a one. Even Lana Turner, who was discovered at the soda fountain, wanted to be discovered. She was in the right place at the right time. She knew what she was doing. And of course, there's more to that story. But it's a decision. And so what I loved is that I watched you work through the whole process of, oh, wow, I really have to decide how visible I want to be. Because the rewards go to the person who has the most chutzpah, who has the most daring, the most courage to be seen. They don't even have to be the best artist. That's what's so ironic about it. It's more the alignment. It isn't about whether you're the best. It's about, is it aligned? So
That's right. Is it aligned? So maybe we could have a little bit of talk about what alignment feels like, and also if I might have to remind you because that's 2 points, and if you're anything like me, you might remember one only. But you were talking about manifesting and deconditioning and throw, and what is deconditioning for those people who don't know? And yes, Julie, visible and consistent, and I'm doing it. Thank you very much, Beth.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Well,
Being in alignment.
being in alignment, what does that feel like? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, I mean, for the people who come to my group, I
Around
mean,
deconditioning.
well, I guess that's two separate things. I was just saying them now, but in terms of human design, I'm learning to be in alignment because I'm listening to my body and my design. So I can tell. And we had Julie as a guest, and she did speak about human design to people. Um, so something about that, like what I've learned, which I think is consistent for every type, is not to be in the head, is to listen to your body more. But every type's different, right? So strategy and authority being key words that I've learned from you.
Hmm.
So knowing what alignment feels like, is there anything you can guide any of my listeners who want to express themselves, and some of them want to express themselves in words, and a lot of them are musicians, some of them are speakers and teachers, and so what could you say in a small amount that would tell a little bit about being in alignment and not being in the head?
Sure. I can give you the shortcut. When you run your human design chart, you find out what type you are, and you're either going to be a manifester, manifesting generator, projector, reflector. And whatever type you happen to be, there's something called the signature. And the signature signals that you feel fulfilled, that you're in what I would call soul flow. And the majority of people on the planet are generators or manifesting generators. And those two types make up 70% of the population. And their signature for fulfillment is satisfaction. So if you're a generator, a manifesting generator, one thing you can do to really help yourself get in alignment is before and after every experience, ask yourself, am I satisfied? Was that satisfying? Um, Imagine if people went on a diet of eating things that satisfied them. There would be no diet at all, right? Sometimes you'd have cake, sometimes you'd have kale, but you'd be satisfied. If you're a manifester, your signature is peace, and you know that you're not in that correct energy if you're angry, because that's the not self of the manifester. Just to jump back, generators, manifesting generators, not self is frustration. So they're looking for satisfaction. The manifestor is looking for peace. The projector is looking for the signature of success, which really is the result of being recognized, of being acknowledged. Their not self is bitterness. When they feel that their guidance, their advice is being ignored, they get very bitter. And the reflectors, which only make up 1% of the population, their signature is surprised, being delighted and amazed at the twists and turns their life has taken in a positive direction, versus their not self of being disappointed. And you've never quite felt disappointment until you felt it from a reflector, because they will be so disappointed in you, you can't even imagine. So those not self frequencies are prompting us to then figure out, well, what would satisfy me? What would bring me peace? What would feel like success? What would be surprising in my life? Because the reflector knows what they want to be surprised about. A conversation going much better than they anticipated, their investments producing more money than they had thought they would, people being more generous and supportive than they ever could have imagined. That's what the reflector's looking for. But for generators like myself, and you're a manifesting generator, we want to feel satisfied. And so I've started applying this to every part of my life. And I've applied it to my diet and how I spent my time. And it's such a revelation. It's such a revelation. It took me 2 months. I got my hair done yesterday, and it took 2 months to get in with this gal. And I've been coloring my hair myself, and it just never looks as good. And I realized when I left there how satisfied I felt. Like whenever I get my hair done, it's money well spent. It's not something I want to chintz out on. Same with getting my nails done. There's just things that really satisfy me. And so as I've made that the measure, the more relaxed I become. And in your relaxation, that's what draws people in. Stressed out, anxious, whining victim mindset folks, they're not attracting opportunity. They're repelling it. That's why people say be grateful because it works. It really works. So anyway, that's how I would start to decondition from all the not self negativity and belief systems.
Brilliant. So you combined that alignment and deconditioning. Brilliant. I love that. Yeah, I've had a good week of realizations, and it was this time last week I was feeling exhausted from performing live, and I realized, and I shared it on my live actually, that I was kind of leaning forward, um, trying to entertain people and make them have a good time. And when I realized that I was trying to do something that I can do without trying, that I started to bring myself down and back into myself. And then, so by the time Wednesday came and I was singing on Wednesday, I was fine. I wasn't tired out. I was relaxed. And that, in a way, is the satisfaction. I mean, this is frustrating, this trying to give more, give and give and give. That was tiring me out. But as soon as I was like satisfied with who and where I am, then I was able to be calm. And that's been lovely this weekend when I've been singing again, because I'm just like, I've got this. And it just felt so nice to stop pushing and just start trying. And also with that, in my head, just thinking, oh, I've got to do this and I need to do that and I've got to do that. And just to be able to stop and pause and think, what does it feel right to do? And that was the other thing that I had here. I started to write a couple of notes about what I could speak to you about. But as a generator, I've learned that I need to respond. And so that's the other thing that I find really, really interesting. So, and I know that you're also a generator. So it's like I don't need to plan, and that actually takes me into my not self, and to actually just be, again, I think trusting in myself is like a satisfaction of who and
Mm-hmm.
where I am right now, which just even saying it feels so nice. Oh, thank God. Yeah, so thank you so much. I'm very excited. I'm
Ah,
launching my own Patreon page at the moment, and I found my way because we've got a model that you've been teaching in your program. There is a model that is not for everyone, but includes things like Facebook groups and seminars and webinars and offerings, and I've been wanting to do some of those things, and then there's a part of me that felt that it wasn't in my alignment. Something felt like I was trying, like not sitting back. And doing this group's been lovely, and getting a feel for the people who do come on board, and understanding that we want a safe space to share
mm-hmm.
things together. And now I've discovered that I can do that in Patreon, actually. So I'm going to be able to offer sort of one-on-one sessions and maybe a little group work and
Great.
everything. But I had to sit and wait for the way that works for me. And you've helped me to learn to trust that my body will tell me what feels right.
Good.
Mm.
Good.
So yeah, I'd like to encourage the people that come along here to explore human design, to visit the link that you've got on your Zoom there. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll take them right to the Facebook group.
yeah, and
Let us know that you came from Allison. We
and
track
also,
all of that.
yes, thank you. And then also those four things that you said, the satisfied, peaceful, surprised, and successful. They're really good tips to take away from this, when we are sharing our true voice. For
Mm-hmm.
anybody who has anything that they want to share, you can almost imagine what it would feel like if you had shared your song, your music.
Mm-hmm.
You can take yourself there and just imagine the satisfaction of like having this frustration. A lot of people who've come to this group would love to share something, but the feeling of actually taking the step and getting to the other side and just feeling, oh God, peaceful that you dared to do it. These are all things that you can measure, and measure in small ways in your life as well, just in tiny actions. Like, I don't know, Can you pass me the salt, please? There's many ways to free your true voice. Can you carry my bag, please? Or why don't you make dinner tonight? As well as singing your song or sharing your
That's
poetry.
right.
Mm,
That's right.
mm. So thank you so much, Baeth.
Oh, thank you. It was wonderful. This was really fun.
Oh, I
It
feel
was
so,
satisfying.
yeah, and I feel really brave that I invited you to come
Oh,
and be here with me. So thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, then, over and out. Thanks for joining us, Julie. Thank you, Baeth.